Hello everyone! Welcome to another Let's Play of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. My name is Anna Mardall. I wanted to warn everyone, today we are going into the courtroom for the third case of the second game. The case is the Big Top, the circus case. I wanted to sort of put a content note on this video that this case suddenly took a turn into some really creepy underage stuff with a 16-year-old girl being pursued by a 31-year-old man. Which would be creepy in any context, but he's also a 31-year-old man who uses a puppet to act out his gross things he wants to say to her, so he can kind of diffuse his responsibility and act like it's not really him who is being sexually explicit or in his conversation with us insulting or violent or whatever. It's just the puppet doing it. So multiple levels of creepy and gross. And our client for this case is also pursuing the same girl, and he is 21. So 5 years older than her in that regard. So you may or may not want to watch this episode based on that. And I may or may not go quickly through some of the things that get said in court, depending on how I feel about the speaker. So that's just a big content note for the whole thing. Otherwise, it's been a very lovely case so far. Not really sure why that was necessary. They could have very easily given her literally any other age. An older age. That's our client, who I love apart from everything I just spoke about. He is, his name is Max. He is a magician. I want his clothes. Good morning, Max. Hold on. And we're back. Sorry about that. Max? Milk. What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, well, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick, Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties! What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm the crowd up a little. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now. The dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. Okay. Another case of one... What? Your Honor, get on with it. Sorry, I just realized that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So, well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor, he does often go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his, and I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we call the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. I wonder if that is to our advantage.
Ms. Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please.
I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright. That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. So that's how she's coping with her. She failed to be perfect, but it was a sham. It doesn't count. It did not count. Do you hear me? Oh, honey. She must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance. Zero. Zilch. Nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of a Von Karma to lose at anything. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? Ow, what are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. But it's not like it'll bring her dad back. And it's not even like we're particularly attached to this defendant. I mean, I like him, but I'm okay with him going to prison. It's not gonna kill me the way it would Maya. There. Opening statement complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. It had nothing to do with the case!
Very well. You may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma.
Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up there, now! Poor Dick. Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective.
Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this.
Surely they're on the clock when they testify. Very well. I would like to begin by shedding light on the events in question.
At your service, sir.
All right, Detective. You may proceed with your testimony.
The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck.
I see. He was beaten to death.
Here is the autopsy report for the victim.
The court accepts this into evidence. A blunt object. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Well, let's just press the things. Let me ask you about the snow.
It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime.
Did it pile up?
It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day.
What's the matter, Nick? I need to take a look at the court record.
Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime?
The court record. When you say all the circus performers, who do you mean?
Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina, the animal trainer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot, Regent the tiger was there as well.
What about the circus monkey?
When I was investigating yesterday, he snatched my wristwatch.
Detective, you are welcome to file a police report after these proceedings.
Practice session broke up around 10 p.m. After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to?
Regina was playing with Regent, while Mo went back to his room, tired from work. Ben the ventriloquist went to the front gate, absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went out to the ringmaster's room to talk privately.
Talk privately, huh? That's suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you?
It seems they were negotiating Max's salary.
Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15.
Okay, not a problem, pal. We've got a witness that told us how the whole thing went down. Ow!
This is totally meaningless. Time to move on.
Alright, we'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end?
Which one didn't she like? Okay. A wooden box.
That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed.
Carrying the box, huh?
It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor.
What do you mean?
Well, it was much heavier than it looked. Not to mention it was locked.
Locked, you say?
20-pound box. It boasts a small but strong lock. Did they open it?
Do you mind telling us what was inside the box?
Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle.
Bottle? What is that, Detective?
Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle.
What's inside the bottle?
It's filled with pepper.
Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box?
There was only one little bottle in the huge box? I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. Pepper? According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct?
You've done your homework, pal.
It was literally just there when you said it. And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak.
My theory is that it is something the perpetrator ran off with.
You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene.
No, I bet he made it disappear with magic.
Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now.
You mean all we're gonna get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness.
Eh? I'm not even off the stand yet.
Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint.
I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy.
Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Ms. Von Karma, please call your next witness.
I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. Oh no. I wonder if Trilo will show up on the stand as well. Oh, goody. Please state your name and occupation for the record. My full name is Triloquist. I am employed as an operatic tenor.
Excuse me. The witness called to the stand was Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist.
That robe must be cutting off your circulation. I said I was a singer. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine. I'll grace you with a song. The world of the law, exciting and daring. Guilt or innocence, decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. What do you think?
Can we kill it with fire? It had a good rhythm.
It's just that the lyrics leave something to be desired.
Trillo, you know better than to insult a judge.
Shut up. Look at your nose. You would think you'd have the sense to fix it. It's so ugly, I want to punch you in the face on the off chance swelling would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star.
Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds.
What's going on here? I demand to know who the witness is. Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this.
God, he even looks terrifying.
You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Let's just proceed.
I'm on her side for once. Let's just get it over with.
Once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge. Clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max, heading toward the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took the magic boy away. You saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene. You're sure of that? Without a doubt, he had on a silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high?
That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown.
That's right, dress boy.
Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime? He's got a point.
What a shame. It was a nice theory.
But the clown can't be the culprit.
Why's that?
Here's absolute proof.
A silk hat?
This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Is it really proof if he didn't write the guy's name in the snow, though? I mean, come on. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene.
Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done.
Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say?
Okay.
The clown. You're talking about Mo. Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic, I can't stand him. Just a little bit of exercises make up us running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to keeling over for good. We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first-place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack.
Then what happened? Why the plaza's entrance?
To do some thinking, of course.
It was awfully cold out that night, especially with snow all around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness.
That's when I saw Max.
Are you sure it was really Max Galactica?
Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece getup? Get the wax out of your ears. Lawyers nowadays, you're like talking to a brick wall. Could you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses.
Nick, I think you should put a little bit more effort into prepping your questions.
He was the only one headed that way. You saw Max, and only Max, right, Trilo? That's right. And that makes him the killer. There was only one person headed that way that night.
That makes quite a bit of sense, and makes Max one suspicious character.
Ben only saw Max? What about the victim? That's a bit strange, don't you think?
What's strange?
That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well?
What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose this witness could have seen?
The victim, the guy!
Take that!
That's the victim.
That's correct. If Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well.
Ow!
Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness could have seen him. Anyone with sense would have figured that out.
What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room.
Is that according to the defendant? A likely story. No, that's according to everyone else. If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime?
I see. It seems that at this reason I have no doubt. At this stage, I have no reason to doubt this witness's testimony.
But that doesn't make sense. Regina said that they went to the office.
And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions.
A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Let's move along with the testimony. Drilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he?
Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head.
Nick, wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head?
I don't know anymore.
Around what time did the police arrive at the scene?
I suppose that would have been around. What time was it?
I think it was a little bit after 10:30.
Practice ended at 10 p.m., so you hung around the lodging house the entire time.
I guess that sounds about right.
Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather.
Well, the truth is...
Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we just stand around outside in that weather?
Maybe you were waiting for someone?
What? Who said we were waiting for someone?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, we can all do without your offhanded theories.
This witness is cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something.
Mr. Wright, who do you suppose the witness was waiting for in the cold that night?
Yeah, can we get him arrested for being dangerous to this girl? If he was waiting inside the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina. Oh good, the doll breaks! You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken? Oh no, it's back together.
Is this true?
Well, you can't really ask me that question.
Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it.
Well, the puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right.
All right. There is obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought.
That makes perfect sense.
What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. He did not see the victim on his way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max heading to the scene. There is absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer. I guess you got me. Alright, I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true, I was waiting for Regina. Pain! Don't volunteer things!
Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house?
I was. I was waiting to propose to her.
You were what? Waiting to propose?
What's the matter? You think humans have a monopoly on marriage?
The matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case.
You're the judge. Look at your horrible outfit.
More pain.
Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of a silly proposal by a puppet. Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket.
You were going to propose.
Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love.
I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too.
The fuck? Exactly.
His honor is looking less than honorable right now. Yeah, haha, it's such a funny joke. Fuck you.
Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination.
I'm just gonna assume that the judge was trying to get Ben to incriminate himself. Like, yeah, just because you're old, and Ben would be like, yeah, exactly, and he's just quietly signaling for the bailiff to imprison this guy after he is done testifying. That's the only way I can salvage this. What were you gonna give her? I think I already know. What was it exactly that you planned on giving her?
You know exactly what I was going to give her, numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question, what was it? You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring. Engagement ring?
Those two nearly fell out of their chairs.
Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone on too far. Time for this to end right here. Franziska's whip looks like it's about to lash out at anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time.
Pain equals bad, push on anyway.
It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time a puppet has ever proposed to a human. I advise you to cut this argument short. I'm going to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony specifically about the engagement ring? Stick to facts and not sociology.
You sure do enjoy sweating the details for a man in a black bathrobe.
No, it's not.
Objection!
Trilo, do you mind if I show you something?
What is it?
What are you talking about?
They're going to double team, you know. Do you recognize this ring?
Ah! That's mine! Give it back! Thief! Thief!
Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket.
Why then do I have it right here?
Ah!
What is going on here?
That's... Ben, say something!
Don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo.
I found this in Money's room.
Money's room? You mean a room where they put money, like a bank vault?
That filthy monkey is going to get what's coming to him.
Mr. Twist, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court.
Your Honor, Money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word.
Ah, I see. Well then, Money likes to go after the shiniest things he can find and gather them up. Shiny things? Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, you know, that night, the night of the crime.
What did you just say? Details. I need more details.
Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza.
Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct?
Well, I guess you might say that. The ring might have been, well, it could have been taken around that time.
Ben, what's wrong with you? Whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder.
It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand.
I haven't admitted a thing. Not I, Mr. Treloquist.
What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo?
You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey Money.
You weren't able to catch up with him, were you?
It's this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away.
That is indeed an incredible shame.
Well, this does indeed prove one very important point.
Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be? There is a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza.
What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours?
I'm saying that there is no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene.
Objection!
Well then, tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist?
Objection!
Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying. He is blinded by his rivalry with Max. Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant.
What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork-face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him. No doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar.
Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw that night.
I told you so many times. You'd think you'd know my story's not changing.
You've already changed your story, Stick Boy, and I'm sure it will change some more.
Where there is one lie, there are usually many more behind it.
Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him.
Yeah.
I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina, but that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I'd been waiting there about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those ridiculous symbols.
So that means Money didn't show up until after you saw Max.
That's right. Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max.
Then Money snatched the ring and you went chasing after him? How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting?
Well, let's see. I'd say about,
I suppose 5 minutes, I think.
So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch.
Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. I know what I'm going to press on. You said good evening. You haven't ever been polite to anyone. You testified. You said good evening to Max that night.
you must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You say good morning in the morning and good afternoon during the day, right? It's obvious I'd say good night to someone at night. What, Ben, you've got something to add? Let me guess. That's not it, Trilo. You say good evening at night.
I'm sorry, Trilo. Mr. Quist, I would prefer it if you kept your ventriloquist act outside the courtroom.
A performer lives and breathes his performances. You should know better.
Isn't that a bit strange to you?
What do you mean?
If you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange.
Why would it strike you as strange?
Exactly! How is it strange to be cordial to one of your coworkers? If it was simply being cordial to a coworker, I would understand.
Ow! That hurt! Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flapping.
Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. There's no reason Trilo would ever say something nice to Max. How do I go about proving that with evidence? Bluffing is everything in this world, but you already learned that one.
Well, they didn't give me a chance to present it, but I'll present it now.
Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an argument. A disagreement at most. A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head. That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he? What? Is that an admission of assault and battery? Ow! Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and the witness had a fight. There is absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, consider the personality of the witness on the stand. There is no way a puppet this lewd would just up and say good evening to his rival. Are you saying this witness is lying? That he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie. I just... That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night?
I think he saw a different person.
It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all. What? If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all. Which means there is only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it. What in the world? Would the defense kindly explain who it was Trilo saw that evening, then?
Well, not Maya. Not Max. Not Ben. Not Gumshoe. Not Franziska. If it was Regina, he would have proposed to her. That leaves Mo and Russell. Russell had to get to where he got murdered. So he passed by Trilo and got a good evening. The clown was already in his room. Mo is the only, or Russell's the only one left.
Considering the ill temper of this witness, there is only one person he would greet. It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute. Oh my god. Seriously? No, Your Honor, it is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trilo would have given her the engagement ring as a present. Oh, yeah, I suppose you've got a point there. It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not? You are correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trilo. Isn't that correct? Answer the question, Mr. Quist. Order! How do you respond to this? Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man. But once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica.
Nope, send it to prison. Prison for perjury and for also being creepy and a danger to Regina.
I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica, or was it the ringmaster Russell Berry?
The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols. 3 symbols.
Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man. Here we go again. Everyone all together now. Yes, we know. The silk hat, cloak, and white roses.
A silk hat and a cloak. Anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me.
What was that?
Well, the witness has endlessly repeated he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry.
What?
Ms. Von Karma. Do you have clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant?
Well,
If that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point.
Yes! I think we finally won a point in this one. That is very unfortunate.
Huh?
You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What do you mean by that?
You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your effort, but who that person was can only be answered by the next witness.
Huh?
Your Honor, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question, and evidence that clearly establishes one thing: that there is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime.
Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess. So, also throw the guy in prison. Please. Creepy guy. Okay. That was, I guess, a whole section. And I suppose that we'll pick up in the next one. So this is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. My name is Anna Mardall, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.